Let me paint you a little picture. You're in a room. Bleached walls, dull hum of fluorescent lights. Men in medals, stiff necks, the kind who salute their own reflections. They're here for a test, a demonstration. They've seen talent before, but never yours. You step forward, not with swagger, but with something worse. Confidence, the kind they don't teach in war colleges. You don't need orders, you don't need backup. All you need is 5 fingers, a broken rule book, and 10 seconds. And just like that, you do it. Whatever it is. You outshoot the sniper, outsmart the strategist, outhack their encrypted dreams. You don't follow the manual, you dance on its ashes. Their jaws tighten. One coughs, another stares, and then it happens. Sir, that's illegal. Illegal? Oh, sweet irony. You're standing in a room full of war machines, men who rain down legality from 30,000 feet with missiles, and they're clutching their pearls over what? Talent? Nah. This isn't about rules. This is about control. You didn't just win. You humiliated their system. You made their rules look like scribbles in a madman's diary. You didn't cheat. You transcended. And now they want to put you back in the box. But it's too late. You are the box. You're the chaos they've been training to fight, and you didn't even break a sweat. That moment, that stunned silence after they say, "That's illegal," that's your crown. Wear it. Let's talk about that phrase. Not the words, the reaction. Sir, that's illegal. Oh, it's not about law. It's about fear. That tight little sentence is their way of saying, "You scare us." They just can't say it out loud. Because when you do something they didn't predict, when you solve in seconds what their committees needed decades to fail at, their instinct is not to applaud. It's to contain, to label, to chain. Illegal becomes a muzzle. See, systems don't run on innovation. They run on repetition, predictability. They're terrified of outliers, people who jump over fences instead of unlocking gates. Your talent? It's not just raw. It's disobedient. It doesn't check in. It doesn't salute. And worst of all, it works. That's why they need it to be illegal. Because if they admit you did something right, it means their whole system might be wrong. And if you were right, then they were just playing pretend with ranks and regulations. They can't have that. So they use that word like a fire extinguisher. Illegal. Hoping it will smother the spark. Hoping it'll shame you into shrinking. But it won't. Because you know the truth. Their rules aren't sacred. They're scared. You didn't break the law. You revealed its cracks. And no one forgives the mirror that shows their flaws. Let me tell you something the system never admits. Chaos is not the enemy. It's the truth they're too scared to write down. You see, most people think the world is this clean, labeled thing. Laws, roles, institutions. Everyone playing their part, clapping when the sign says clap, crying when it says tragedy, laughing when the laugh track tells them it's okay. But then you show up. You, this walking contradiction. You don't respect the rhythm. You hear your own music and worse, you dance to it. That's not just weird to them. That's dangerous. Because if one person breaks free, others might start asking questions. And questions? Oh, they burn systems to the ground. Sir, that's illegal, they cry. Not because what you did was wrong, but because it wasn't authorized. You didn't wait for permission. You didn't kneel. You didn't ask the king if it was okay to be brilliant. That's your crime. You dared to be better. You dared to laugh in a room full of frowns. They call it illegal. You call it inevitable. Rules were made by the frightened to protect the familiar. But genius? Genius doesn't respect the familiar. It rips the curtain back and shows the world the machinery they weren't supposed to see. And in that moment, when their whole reality shakes, they reach for their little word. Illegal. They hope it'll cage you. But you were born outside the cage, and you've been dragging your claws along the bars ever since, just to hear the music. History's favorite game? Authority versus genius. 2 players, one terrified, one laughing. Authority builds walls. Genius ignores them. Authority says, follow protocol. Genius says, I didn't bring a map. Every era, it plays out. Galileo looks through a telescope and says, "Hey, the Earth moves." The church? "Sir, that's illegal." They put him under house arrest. Da Vinci paints war machines and flying humans while the rest are still sharpening sticks. Too advanced. Too weird. "Sir, that's illegal." He hides his notebooks. Einstein questions the fabric of time. Governments whisper, "Keep him in check." Why? Because genius is messy. It doesn't wear a uniform or show up on time. It threatens order. Now maybe you're not Galileo. Maybe you're not Einstein. But you've tasted it. That moment when your idea, your skill, your instinct makes people nervous. And what do? They wrap their fear in a badge, in a title, in a procedure. Then they say it. "Sir, that's illegal." But really they're saying, "Please, don't change the game." Because if you change the game, they might lose their place in it. They might have to admit the rules weren't perfect. That maybe, just maybe, the wild card was the only one making sense. Genius doesn't ask for a seat at the table. It flips the table, burns it, dances on the ashes. Authority reacts with paperwork. Genius responds with fire. And in the smoke, you can hear the whispers, "Sir, that's illegal." Which means you're probably doing it right. This channel, Why So Deranged, isn't a brand. It's not content. It's not a vibe. It's a diagnosis, a label they slap on you when you stop playing along, when you stop smiling at the right time, when your brilliance stops fitting inside the lines they drew. You see, the world loves to pretend it respects innovation, but only the kind it can schedule, measure, monetize. You don't create because someone hired you. You create because it hurts not to. That's why they call you deranged, because you noticed the cracks in the structure and, get this, you pointed them out. Worse, you laughed. "Sir, that's illegal." What's illegal is how long they've been pretending. Pretending this system makes sense. Pretending genius is rare, when in truth they've just locked it in closets for decades. That's what this channel is for. We're not here to inspire. We're not here to teach. We're here to poke holes in the curtain and shine a flashlight right in the wizard's eyes. We don't care about rules. We care about truth. And truth, my friend, is ugly. It's loud. It doesn't wait to be invited. If they call it illegal, that means it matters. If they call it crazy, that means it's new. And if they call you deranged, then maybe you're finally awake. So, they said it. "Sir, that's illegal." Maybe you were too good, too fast, too right. Maybe your art cut too deep. Maybe your code was too clean. Maybe your joke hit a little too close to the bone, and now they want you to apologize. But you won't, because you didn't break the rules. You exposed them. You didn't cheat the game. You saw through it. That's what scares them. They live in the castle. You live in the cracks, and the cracks are getting wider. So what do you do now? You smile, you nod, and you say, "Thank you for the compliment." Then you break their little box, one twist at a time. This is Why So Deranged. We don't knock politely. We kick the door off the hinges and ask, whose reality is this anyway? And if the only answer is, "Sir, that's illegal," then maybe, just maybe, we're finally getting somewhere.